What's up guys, TechTitan here, and I am back again with a brand new video. So before I begin this video, as always, I want to thank you all so much for watching this one. If you enjoy my content, make sure you leave a thumbs up. Also make sure you subscribe to the channel. For purchase links for these phones, the A21 and the A12, I'll leave purchase links in the description below if you're interested. And yeah, with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. And I'm really excited for this. So I get to compare the Samsung Galaxy A12 to the Galaxy A21. And right off the bat, we're going to go ahead and talk about the design of... So we're going to start this comparison by talking about the design of these phones. So starting with the Galaxy A12, we're going to talk about the back first. So the Galaxy A12 has this weird back, so kind of two finish back. The first is that the bottom has a matte finish and with the Samsung logo. And so as you go up top, you will see this textured pattern, which do provide texture and do provide grip. But me personally, I wish it was just an all matte phone. I think it would have made it look better. But hey, that's just me and my preference. And the right hand side houses your power button, which also acts as a fingerprint. And you also have your volume up and down. And also on the back, you have your quad camera setup with a misplaced LED flash. And I talked about that in my... And on the bottom of the phone, you have your 3.5mm headphone jack, your USB-C, as well as your bottom-facing speaker. Now moving on to the Galaxy A21. So it chooses a all glossy material with the back also housing the fingerprint sensor. The cool thing about the back of the A21 is that if you place it on an angle and shine it under sunlight, you will get this kind of cool parallax shiny effect. So that looks really nice. And also on the back, you also do have your quad camera setup. So you have a 16 megapixel standard, you have an 8 megapixel wide, and you also have a macro and a depth sensor. So there's that for you. And the bottom houses your 3.5mm headphone jack, a microphone, USB-C, as well as your bottom-facing speaker. And the right-hand side houses your power button, as well as your volume up and down. Now let's compare these displays. So these displays, they're both are 6.5-inch, same resolution display, so a sub 720p display. And as far as quality, it's Samsung. Samsung knows how to make their displays quality, so definitely quality displays. Now, really, it's difficult to tell the difference when you put these phones, even when you put these phones side by side. The only thing that I noticed from just my point of view is that the Galaxy A12 tended to have a cooler tone, meaning that it's kind of, the white are kind of bluer, and the A21 has a warmer tone, meaning that the whites will have this kind of brownish look, if that makes sense. And on the top, you cannot also forget the choice of display design. So the Galaxy A12 has this teardrop notch that we're accustomed to, and the Galaxy A21 has the what they call an Infinity O display, meaning that the camera is embedded within the display, which we're also used to. So two different design choices. So as far as specifications go, the Galaxy A12 has the following specs. So you have 3 gigabytes of RAM accompanied by 32 gigabytes of storage. So in this day and age, it's really unacceptable to have 32 gigabytes of storage, but that's just something that you have. You do also have the option of upgrading your storage via a micro SD card up to 1 terabyte. So I guess that in a way that kind of makes up for it. And the processor of choice this time around is a MediaTek Helio P35, and this phone does have an octa-core chip. And you also have a 5000 milliamp hour battery, which the battery life on this phone is excellent. And this phone also has Bluetooth 5.0. So the Samsung Galaxy A21, on the other hand, has the following specs. So the A21 has a octa-core chip as well, and also decides to use a MediaTek processor. In this case, it is also the Helio P35. So processors are the same. 32 gigabytes of storage, 3 gigabytes of RAM. The cool thing is that the Galaxy A12 is actually cheaper than the Galaxy A21, so that's also something to consider. And the battery on the Galaxy A21 is a 4000 milliamp hour battery. Okay, so with that being said, now when we go about opening up apps, so for example, the phone app, they open up about the same time, the messaging app about the same time, and so that's what you would expect for phones that have the same specs. Okay. Now let's really talk about the cameras. So both of these phones have a quad camera setup. The A21 has a 16 megapixel main sensor, an 8 megapixel ultra wide sensor, 2 megapixel macro and 2 megapixel depth. So the A12 has a 16 megapixel main sensor, 5 megapixel ultra wide, 2 macro and 2 megapixel depth sensor. So the front facing camera is actually 13 megapixels on the A21 and 8 megapixels on the Galaxy A12. That's just a lot of numbers. Let's actually talk about picture quality. And you would be surprised. You would be surprised. So picture quality is going to shock you. The Galaxy A12 does a much better job in bringing out the colors. So the A12 just makes the color pop. The A21 tends to just overexpose some of the pictures. And when it comes to dynamic range, the Galaxy A12 again is much better in keeping the shadows on the trees and just making the picture a little bit more saturated. That will make it pop just a little bit more. And I personally like the quality of the Galaxy A12. As far as video goes, starting with the Galaxy A12, the video is not really that good. If you zoom in on a certain subject, the macro sensor does go to work, which is nice, but the quality is just not that good. Now it's the opposite story of it's the opposite story on the Galaxy A21. The video quality, while it's not up to par when it comes to comparing it to flagships, definitely it does a much better job in the everyday scenario and just a better quality video camera than the Galaxy A12. So better pictures on the A12, better video on the A21. Take that information and do with it as you wish. So I want to wrap it up in a conclusion. First of all, the design is subjective, so it's up to you and your preference. I definitely like the A21's design better, and that's just my opinion. So definitely design, I would pick the A21. Specs, they're the same. The cameras, I know I'm a video person, but I would rather take a picture on the camera. I would pick the A12 over the A21 just because the picture quality is more important to me than the video quality, especially if I'm using a budget smartphone. I wouldn't really care too much about video. And yeah, I mean, overall, me personally, it's kind of a back and forth. The battery life is definitely much better on the A12, so that's also something to keep in mind, and which makes me lean a little bit towards the A12. So bigger battery, better pictures, same specs. The Galaxy A12 is the winner to me, even though I like the design of the A21 better. But as a package, overall, the Galaxy A12 definitely gets it for me. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a thumbs up, make sure you subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.